deep, slow breath. Welcome. Let your shoulders soften. Take a deep breath. Welcome to Honeybee, where you will be doing less doing, more being, and where your journey home begins. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, maybe a year now. Have been having conversations about starting my own YouTube channel as a way to really create my own authenticity, but also have creative conversations about other people and how they cultivate, obviously, authenticity and learning to listen to their inner voice. So, um, it still feels really awkward. I'll be real honest. I hated being on video when I was younger. I didn't really like that. I'm not even sure exactly why. So this feels really awkward to me because I'm used to being one-on-one with people or even teaching people in my profession, but this is a whole new skill. So anyway, thank you for joining me on it. And I wanted to bring up this kind of idea that I've been learning how to do over the last several months and some weird synchronicities that have been happening and seeing if you can relate at all. Uh-oh, hold on, let me move my camera a little bit. The sun's coming in my window. Okay, so I woke up and have been waking up actually regularly. I don't know if any of you are having the same experience. There's a lot going on astronomically that I'm just really learning about, really don't know much about, but I'm listening to the experts. Um, but I'm noticing that things like eclipses and full moons and a lot of the things that are going on astronomically right now are having effect on me, including waking me up every night at like, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, so I woke up. I found myself like waking up from a dream that I couldn't quite recall last night and beginning to think and noticing as I was having questions about things, the questions being answered pretty rapidly. Like, it's almost like I was having a full on conversation with a really good friend that really had really wonderful and poignant answers to the questions that I was having. So, there's a lot going on in my life right now, a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty in all different areas. And normally, I would feel very uncomfortable with them and try and control them. But I keep getting this call not to. And really, the voice told me not to. Just to allow things to happen and run their course exactly the way they're meant to. And something about that felt really confirming. And so I asked more questions and got more answers and realized that I don't have to know. Like, I don't have to know why I'm waking up. I don't have to know what's going to happen in different areas of my life, that really there's very little certainty right now. Because I can trust that everything is working out exactly the way it's meant to. So, therefore, really, my only job is to breathe, to listen, and to allow. So, I'm trying to practice these things that, let me tell you, have not been normal for me, have not been common, but I realize it is my new normal. And for any of us to make changes, for me to make changes, let me turn it around, that I need to really be willing to make a decision about who it is I want to be. Even if it's very different than who I have been for most of my life, because that's the only really way that change takes place, is for me to make an active decision that I am going to choose to let go, to allow, and just to breathe, even in times of uncertainty, and notice what happens and how things work out. So I want to share this kind of cool story that I shared with a friend earlier today that just happened to me recently. Okay, so last night my son was doing laundry, and the dryer all of a sudden just stopped working. So poor thing. I mean, he's 21 years old. He's just came back to live home, just a little bit less than a year now, And so he does such a great job taking care of himself. He works really hard, so he was doing his laundry. And God bless him, was having some issues with the washing machine. So he's sitting on top of the washing machine as it's spinning, so it doesn't move all around our washing machine, um, all around our laundry room. And then I hear him calling as I'm about to go to bed last night, and he says, "Mom, hey, the dryer is not working." So I come downstairs, long story short, and sure enough, it would not turn on. It wouldn't. So crazy. It's kind of an older model, right? So it's not super new. So it didn't necessarily shock me, but I had just used it a couple hours earlier. So, I was kind of bummed. Um, and so for about 10 minutes, we tried to navigate if there was a short, going out to the garage and seeing if the breaker had been blown, and just kind of troubleshooting some things. We weren't able to figure something out, so he ended up having to take his stuff to a laundromat to get dried. And one of the things that came to me when I woke up in the middle of the night was asking if my dryer was broken. Okay, right, kind of a weird question to ask, but I did. I asked, okay, what's going on with my dryer? Why did it break all of a sudden? And I heard, it's not broke. It was his energy. Hmm? What does that mean? His energy. There was something with his energy. Trying to control, being negative, that's why the power would not go on. I kind of dismissed it, I'll be honest. Didn't think too much about it until a couple hours later after I got up. I'm on the phone with a friend, and I tell her the story, and then I said, let me go check it and just see. I mean, just humor me. So I got in FaceTime with my friend, walk over to my laundry room, turn on the dryer, and it worked. It worked. I had to try it a couple times just to make sure that I wasn't going nuts, but it worked. So it really was, again, this idea that I want to start to listen to this inner voice, to these synchronicities of things that are happening in and around me, because this is just one of, I could tell you so many, I really could. Things that are happening right now in my life that just seem very different than ever before. I don't necessarily think there's a lot of different things happening. What I actually do believe is happening is that I'm changing, that I am becoming more awake and aware to all of the things that have actually always been happening. I just wasn't aware of them happening. So now I want to become more aware, let's say, of the things that are happening. I want to share one more quick story with you that happened to me about 2 weeks ago. This one is even crazier, actually. Um, but I want to share it because I want, again, to open up the door for you to see where these things might be happening in your life and where these signs and synchronicities might be showing up for you. So a couple weeks ago, this beautiful woman that helped me with my books for my business, she invited me to her church because she told me that she did prophecy classes. She teaches them and has been at a local church for several years. So I decided to go. I wasn't raised knowing much about prophecy in the church that I was raised in growing up, so I didn't really know much about it, but I was fascinated and always loved going to other churches, understanding other people's faith, how they worship, and um, and just learning more things about the spirit and what it's doing all around us. So I went to the class. I sit in the back, and she teaches for about the first hour of the class, and then she announces at the beginning that the last 15 minutes she's going to use for anybody that might want to practice getting prophesized over. So I knew right away. I made a decision that I was going to be picked and I wanted to go because I am so curious and want to find out. I tend to be kind of a doubting Thomas, and so what I thought was, I'm sure I will go up there and these women will say something super generic, right, that really could apply to any one of us, like, your mother really loves you. I don't know. Something that really could apply to pretty much anyone. So I walk up there. First of all, I was picked. She looked right at me, and this is a room full of probably 40 or 50 people, if I were to guess. And she chose me. She had me come up front. And so I walk up there, and first her and another woman pray over me in tongues, another thing I wasn't very familiar with. And when they stopped, the lady that I knew asked for Letty to tell me what she saw. And so she starts off by saying the first thing that I saw was a rainbow. But the rainbow wasn't what we normally think about as it relates to scripture, which is promises, right? God's promises to mankind. She said, for you, a rainbow is different because a rainbow is your sign. Um, God says that you always are looking for signs in which direction to go. So the rainbow is your sign. So that's why he wanted us to tell you about the rainbow. Well, the moment she said this, I began to get emotional because anybody that knows me knows that rainbows is my sign since I was a little girl, and I'm always looking for rainbows every time there's any, even a little bit of sun and rain at the same time. I'm going to go outside wherever I am and look for the rainbow. So, anyway, this woman went on to say things that were very specific, let me just say, and one of them being that I also had the gift of prophecy, which was very startling because I've known it since I was a little girl, but I didn't know what it was called. And I oftentimes was told growing up in the faith and family that I was that that wasn't how I was supposed to be talking, or kind of shut that down. So I think I learned how to cover it up, how to not pay attention to that little voice inside of me, how to distract myself, how to try and control through my thoughts or behavior, and really become somebody that I wasn't. So this was really very validating for me to be able to see that it's like there was a light bulb that was lit off. That this woman was looking into my mind and into my heart and seeing something about me that I had covered up so long ago, but that actually is true. That was true. So again, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to listen. Um, Again, to cultivate my own inner voice, to make decisions about the person that I want to be now, and learning how to let go of some of the old patterns, the behaviors, the things that I was taught that I was supposed to do that were the right thing, and being willing to let them go. And when I tell you it feels super uncomfortable, it does. It does. I can see now the verse that says, die to self daily and being reborn. I truly believe that this is what this means, right? That I am learning how to die to myself daily, or the old self, the self that I was taught I was, which really was not me at all. It was just the me that I learned how to be in order to fit in with the world. But now, as I'm kind of uncovering all of those old patterns, I'm learning to listen and to understand what the most authentic version of me is, and look forward to hearing and seeing what that will look like for all of you. So hopefully this journey will not just be about me, but rather collectively how we all can begin to let go of those patterns that weren't really us, but maybe that we were taught, so that we can become our most authentic selves and really just be at the end of the day. Because that's where the power lies. It's listening, allowing, and breathing, and letting go of all the other stuff that is unnecessary. Well, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you next week. Have a great evening.